Hello everyone. So today I want to talk to you about something that is extremely important for patients with multiple sclerosis. I've read through your comments and I've got to say that there's a sizable number of you who tell me that you've given up on your disease modifying treatment because you felt like, well, that the disease was doing better, you were not feeling any worse, and ultimately you felt like the treatment was giving you more side effects than benefits. Well, I'm sorry to be the one who has to tell you this, and forgive me if I'm being a little bit harsh. It's a hard truth to accept, but the fact is that more and more it's being proven that from the moment that you're diagnosed with multiple sclerosis, there's probably been like a catalyst that has led to diagnosis. But often when you're diagnosed, the MRI scans will probably show a numerous amount of lesions in your brain or your spine. As was the case with me, I had more than 25 lesions at the moment of diagnosis. And as I've mentioned before in previous videos, the more you think about it, it becomes clear to you that yes, you might actually have had multiple sclerosis before diagnosis. In my case, I can track it all the way back to when I was 19, and I was diagnosed when I was 27. So that's a considerable amount of years of having had multiple sclerosis before that. And what I want to talk to you about is progression and how progression has to be understood when you have multiple sclerosis. It's tough to hear this, and it's tough for me to even say it, to even accept it. But you have to come to terms with the idea that progression is something that throughout the course of your multiple sclerosis happens from the very first moment. So the fact that there are numerous lesions observed when you're diagnosed is because the disease was there before it made itself shown. And you have to think of it as something that gradually worsens, which is why you all of a sudden start to experience more noticeable symptoms. And, well, the only thing that can help with this, I'm sorry to tell you guys, but at the same time, I'm stressing this because really the bottom line of this is that we have to be thankful that we have something that can help us diminish the speed of progression. And that help that we have is really only the disease-modifying therapies that are being offered to us. And I don't know if you've read the pamphlets or descriptions of any of these treatments that are being offered to you, but they will often say that they can slow down the progression of the disease by a certain percentage. Depending on the treatment, it can range from 50% to 80%. What I want to stress when I talk about this is the fact that progression is there when you have multiple sclerosis. The only way that you can slow down this progression is by taking your disease-modifying therapy. It's important, and I'm stressing this because even if you feel that you're doing okay without the disease-modifying therapy and you're like, well, I haven't had a relapse in years, even though I stopped my therapy, my treatment, does not mean that multiple sclerosis is not acting silently, and does not mean that sooner or later these symptoms are going to become visible. They're going to come to the surface. It's very difficult to think about this. I say this as someone who, despite taking the disease-modifying treatment religiously from the very first day that I got my diagnosis, I still experience progression. Coming from this standpoint, I want to say to you that multiple sclerosis is there. It's looming in the background. It's silently doing its damage. If you're in the lucky position of not having very noticeable damage, I want to encourage you to take your treatment so as to stop disease progression as soon as possible, because sooner or later this damage is going to manifest itself in one way or another. In fact, I want to encourage you guys to talk to your neurologist and suggest that he or she gives you the most aggressive treatment from the very beginning. There is no reason to wait and see how it goes. I would have loved to be given the most aggressive treatment from the very beginning, but unfortunately I had to experiment with various treatments. Knowing what we know now, I really wish that I had been given the most aggressive treatment. And feeling the way I feel now, I wish more had been done to stop disease progression. I can feel disease progression in my own body. I can feel a worsening of my symptoms. I want to encourage all of you to please take your disease modifying treatment and trust your neurologist, trust your healthcare professional. And I say this from a place of hurt because I've come to terms with progression, and I really want to stress the fact that there isn't a moment in your multiple sclerosis from which you start to develop progression. No, progression is there from the very beginning. So do whatever you can to stop this progression from ravaging your body. I'm sorry if this is harsh news. I'm sorry if this is hard to hear. Please believe me when I say that this comes from the bottom of my heart. This comes seriously as friendly advice to all of you following me. I hope you will heed my advice. I hope you will trust your healthcare professionals. Please make an informed choice. So thank you for listening to me today. Sorry for being a little bit dramatic, but honestly, I'm feeling quite sad myself. It's not all joys and tears, and this is why I'm at this point that I really want to challenge myself. I want to take myself to the limit, do whatever I can to do what I can do, more or less, for now. Take care, you guys. And I will see you soon.